All right, folks, in this video, I'm going to tell you the story of killing the biggest 8-pointer I've ever killed. Before we got to go hunting, I had a lot of stuff I had to get done.
All right, there it is. There's my to-do list. It's short, but some stuff is going to get added.
All right, guys, the system is pretty simple. We take everything out of this truck and we load it up into this truck. Stuff, more stuff. Stuff to keep my hands warm. Stuff to keep me legal and keep me from getting shot. Stuff to keep my face warm. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff I got to make sure makes it into this truck. I got to take my boat in today. I'm going to drop it off. The tack's been messing up and running funny, so since I'm going to be gone for a few days, it's a good time to get it in shape before the winter catfish season starts here, which is be coming up after deer season. So well, I need to move this cooler. It has deer meat in it that we've got to cut up. It's one of the deer that Grayson killed. I've had it on ice, sitting on top of ice here for a couple of days. We're going to cut it up here in a little bit, but first I got to clean out this boat. Oh, she is nasty. She's a nasty girl. She just looks bad. Got leaves all over her. Kind of sad. She'll be pretty soon though. Look how nasty this is. It looks like Zach Royce's boat. Well, one thing I got to do is take my sonar unit off. That is something that is ripe for the picking. Funny story. I did this last year. Took my sonar unit off like this. And I was getting stuff together like I'm doing now, and I laid it down on the floor of the boat. And for some reason, a few days later, while the boat's there, I'm thinking I put it in the back of the truck. Look in the back of the truck, it's gone. Call up to the boat dealer, say, hey, look in the boat, see if the sonar unit's laying in there. It's nowhere laying in there. Obviously, it's pretty big. It's easy to see. I'm thinking I had it sitting up here on the bow of the boat somewhere, which is normally where I lay it before I get out. They come out, look in the boat, they can't find anything. I go riding the roads to see if it fell off the boat and it's on the side of the road somewhere. Then all of a sudden it hit me. Everything in my boat, no matter where it falls, winds up in the same place, and that's right here. Underneath my seat. Don't know why. Everything, the wind circulates everything back to that location, and guess what? That's where it was laying. One of my greatest things that I've come across. My wife's had it for years because she always had the new car. A backup camera. Greatest thing in the world is a backup camera. Well, finally, after a long day of running errands and going all over the place, packing the truck, double checking my list to make sure I had all my gear, I was able to get on I-40 and head west to Kentucky. First morning out, it was actually nice and cold, which is refreshing. It's been kind of warm around the house, so it was nice to actually get out in the woods and it be a little bit chilly. Now the first morning was really good. I saw a lot of deer. As a matter of fact, the entire day I think I saw 28 deer. 12 of them were rack bucks. All of them were small except for one. There was a nice deer, mainframe 8. It's about 125 inches. I looked at him for a long time, had a lot of time to look at him. He wasn't super wide, had some decent time length, had long beams, but I had my heart set on killing a mainframe 10. There's a lot of 8-points out there, but 10s are kind of rare. We definitely don't get a lot around here. So I was holding out for a mainframe 10. I told the guys about the deer at camp, and they were kind of giving me a hard time, said, hey, that may have been your opportunity for a good deer, but I kind of had my heart set. And but I told them, I said, hey, if a monster 8 comes out, you know, I'd shoot one. I ain't got nothing against it, but it would have to be really big. Now my setup is nothing fancy here. It is a blind popped up about 150 yards off the tree line in the middle of a field. Normally these fields are cut, but this year we had standing soybean. It was kind of a double-edged sword. It was great in that the deer were coming into it to feed. The bad part is you couldn't see a lot of the deer on the edges because of the way the terrain rolled off. But overall, I was really happy with having standing soybean, and I hope we get that again in the future. All right, so the next morning we get out. It's a nice, clear morning. I'm texting with the other guys who are all on the other farm that we've got. They're all seeing deer. I'm not seeing a thing. I mean, there's nothing moving. So what happened was I did some grunting, and I had a deer come out where the first one came out. It started coming straight to the blind. And I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be cool. He's gonna get up here and he's gonna win me, see me or something and bolt out of here. So he got really close. He started to bristle up. And if you guys have ever seen that happen, these deer the hair starts to stand up on their entire body. Their posture changes. Typically they do that when they confront another deer. So I was thinking, well, maybe he thinks he's close to another buck. And he's kind of walking with the nose down, kind of a funny walk they do when they're confronting another deer. And he got really, really close to the blind. And I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna be in one of these viral videos where this deer is gonna come charging the blind and I'm gonna get gored or something. And it turns out it wasn't me he was interested in. Kept an eye on him, and as he got literally 15 feet from the blind, he was not looking at the blind, he was looking past it over to the tree line. And I just eased my head around to the right, and there he was standing in the tree line. A big deer. I could tell by the tine length that it was a big deer. And I really just obviously ignored the deer that was in front of me. Turned around, he had his head up in a tree. He was thrashing around on a licking limb that was down there on a scrape. And I spun around, threw the binoculars up, got a quick look at him, saw how just long the tines were. Good width. Saw quickly that it was 8, but his death sentence was a little bitty kicker tine. I say little, it's about 3 inches sticking off the left beam, and that really signed his death warrant. I got the gun up in a hurry. He was walking, I hit a grunt, wouldn't stop, hit a grunt, yelled at him. He stopped for a second, looked, flicked his tail like he didn't care, walked a little bit further. I yelled at him again, he stopped, had time to get the crosshairs on him, and boom, I drilled him. Ran about 20 yards, shot him with a 300 Win Mag. He ran, he dropped, and I finally had a really huge monster 8-pointer on the ground. When I got to it, I was totally shocked. I've got some still pictures of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful mainframe 8. It's about 135 inches, which is crazy for an 8-pointer. 11 and 12 inch G2s and G3s. Brow tines were busted off real low. Didn't get a lot of inches out of that, but that's okay. There was no question whatsoever when I saw this deer, I was going to shoot it, and I couldn't be more happy with what I got. Folks, I appreciate you watching these hunting videos on Dieter Melhorn Fishing. I know it's a fishing channel, but these have been fun to do. And I appreciate all you people who have subscribed recently. The videos that I have with Grayson killing his deer have turned out to be my biggest videos ever on the channel, which is shocking, humbling, confusing, considering it's a fishing channel. But it's thanks to all of you guys for tuning in and watching, subscribing, hitting like, leaving your comments, all that kind of stuff. And I appreciate you doing it. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Be sure to hit that little bell. That little bell symbol is a notification thing that will send out notifications when new videos come up. That way you can stay up to date on all the new stuff coming out. Again, I thank all the new viewers very much. All the old viewers who are hanging with me and watching these things, I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can get you more in 2018.